you're going to be on stage with people who are proud never Trumpers on Saturday night. You're
Right.
going to be on stage with two Republicans, one who used to work for him, the other one who used to be married to someone who worked for him. And so you have George Conway and Olivia Troye together on that stage Saturday night at the Warner Theater in DC, which y'all can watch, Meethook.live. It's your chance to be able to be a part of the DC Sexy Liberal show if you can't physically be there. You're on stage with George Conway. What do you want him to be saying to the audience? What are you going to ask him? What is something that you would personally want George Conway to be telling everybody?
I think both
because of his
them,
unique, perspective.
I think there's a tendency to kind of Drago from Rocky IV Trump every time he wins or gets some sort of success, where there's a big side, big portion of our side that feels defeated and that he's this kind of inhuman, unstoppable force, that we create a messianic view of him equal to what the maggots buy and sell, right? They believe the sun shines out of his ass and we think it's a death ray, but both are fake. He's just he's a bored, easily distracted dipshit.
The convicted felon.
Right, who has Peter Principled his way into being the first convicted felon ever elected in the United States, who has an increasingly shrinking group of friends, if any at all, is surrounded by sycophants who are waiting to be next in line to knock him off, and he knows it, and he's panicked about it. This nest that Elon Musk built for him, he won't get out of, and he's aware of it. So I think Olivia Troye and George Conway, and I wish more people around them, because we know what he does that's illegal. And we know what the people around him, like Stephen Miller and others, would like to attempt. I know them all. I've read Project 2025. I've read Agenda 47. Even if he hasn't, I know what they're going to try to do. But what I think a lot of people do is they assume that he's some sort of magical force and he will get this stuff done. And I would like to remind everybody that he couldn't even get an infrastructure bill passed, that his tax cut was written by Mitch McConnell's team and had been sitting on Mitch's desk for 10 years. And the only reason Bush 2 didn't pass it was because we were in the middle of a war. And everybody was worried that if you cut taxes that much in the middle of a war, it would undercut defense spending. So they were just panicked about the idea. So think back to what he actually did. 27 miles of new barrier that they created, and by converting the fencing into walls, it made an access road on the Mexican side that made it easier to get around it. It's stupid.
You can't do anything right. It's just nothing.
Right. Does anybody believe he's actually going to, starting with Texas, broom 1.5 million people out of every restaurant, factory, cleaning, construction,
farm, restaurant, hospital, every industrial park, everywhere in this country.
And those states, well, not even in this country, because there are states like New York and California and others that will push back against this and limit him, and he'll be in legal delays around this kind of shit. Without the most extreme things. Like, if he wants to deport people who are in prison who are violent criminals, I would like them put in another prison where they're going instead of just dropped off and set free, which seems to be his plan. But besides that, he's not going to be able to go into New York State and do this the way he will, that Texas is going to have to allow him to do, because the Texas elected officials are all in on this shit. They can't not go along with it. What the fuck does that look like? Right? Because in the delay, the maggots are going to want to see something. Where are they going to see it from? States like Texas and Florida. Well, what happens when that occurs? Prices for everything in those states go through the fucking roof.
Hey, we tried to warn them.
Yep.
We tried to explain how tariffs work. We tried to tell them that all of the things that they're trying to do are terrible. And that's why everybody should really be paying attention to what we're doing at Sexy Liberal. So don't forget, as she wraps this up, we are going to be tuned in Saturday night, Warner Theater. In
Yep.
DC, you got Stephanie Miller, John Fugelsang, your buddy Hal Sparks, Frangela, Olivia, Troye. You've got JoJo from Jerz, Harry Dunn, and George Conway. And if you can't be there in person, you can watch at Meethook.live. You can order it today. And if watching it live is a little too anxiety producing for you, because I know people sometimes are like, you can save it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to watch, you know what I would do? I would get the pay-per-view. And then I would watch that instead on Monday, the 20th, instead of the inauguration, because we're all going to boycott the inauguration, the Fauxnauguration. We're going to make sure that our attention and our dollars and our ratings stuff is elsewhere online and streaming.
Yeah.
So make sure you sign up at Meethook.live and make sure you are following all of the Sexy Liberal Universe folks on all of the socials where they are. And make sure you're also signed up for the Substack, the Political Voices Network Substack, where we're going to keep on delivering the message.